Hello, you fruity cutie. What's up? My name is Jeanette, and I'm here with the Woodstock Fruit Festival live. And today we have an amazing guest. We have Ronnie from the UK Fruit Festival. So I'm really, really excited. And welcome, everyone. So nice to see you guys. Thank you for being here. And so before we get started, because I'm going to bring my boo Ronnie in and we're going to talk all about the Woodstock Fruit Festival, how it changed his life. What's up, Caleb? What's up, everybody? We're going to talk to Ronnie about that. But before we get started, let's talk. What's up, Tessa? Hi, boo. We're going to talk about persimmons, okay? We got to address the mangoes of the winter. Hi, Tessa. Love you, boo. So the mangoes of the winter. Now, how do we know when they're ripe? There's two types, okay? Tessa, what are the two types? Dulls say, what's up, boo? So we got... Obviously, you guys know this. Fuyu and Haichia. We got Fuyu and Haichia. Okay, and so Fuyu, I'm not trying to fool you. Okay, I'm trying to fool you into trying this amazing fruit. And Fuyus you can eat at any stage of ripeness. I like it when it's very squishy, but you can eat it right now. It's always amazing. It's better when it's squishy though. And the Haichia, of course, you guys already know this. I know you guys know this. But for anybody who doesn't, okay, I love Fuyu too. How do you spell it? It's F-U-Y-U. And then the Haichias, they must be ripe. They must be ripe. So it has to be translucent and squishy. Yep, very squishy. Which of the two do you prefer? Personally, I love the Haichias more because it tastes like, this is weird, but it tastes like orange Jello. Does anybody agree? I love persimmons, and they are just so good. My mom was told to eat it as dessert. Yeah, it's a dessert. It's totally dessert. So guys, check out your Fuyu and your Haichia persimmons. And my boo Ronnie is here, so I'm excited. And he just requested, and here we go, boo. So Ronnie, everybody knows he's our favorite fruity weirdo from the UK. And he's got his own festival. He's got Fruity Fridays. He's got a lot going on. And I told myself I would never go live with Ronnie again, and I can't remember why. So I'm going to go live with him again and find out why. Okay, so let me bring him in. Okay. Hey, Ronnie.
Hello, Jeanette. Hello, the world.
The world. Ronnie, we haven't been live together in so long. Do you remember why I said I would never go live with you again?
Yeah, do you not remember why?
No, do you?
It was because, yeah, you don't want me to say this though, because I said we had a show for about one time. We had a podcast or something, which we did one time.
Yeah, we did one
Hello.
episode.
And then you sent me a message saying something like, because I'd said something about the festival. I can't remember what I said, but I must have said something that was like a joke about the festival, and you basically said I can't you can't say things like that. I might lose my position at the festival or something like that. That was
And
pretty
now
much
here
why.
we are going live on the Woodstock Fruit Festival.
Yeah, that's why I didn't think you'd want me to bring that up. There's Kirsten in the comments.
This is
Hey,
hilarious.
Kirsten Maxwell.
This is hilarious. Okay, well, thank you, Ronnie, for being here. First of all, I got a lot
You're
of
not
questions.
you're not even listening. You're not even listening to me. I said Kirsten is in the comments. She
No,
just
no,
sent
I
us
know
a heart.
I'm listening to you, but you addressed her, so I thought it was okay. Okay, hey, Kristen, what's
Okay.
up, boo? I love you. Let me see who's up here. Rachel's here. Jeanette, your background is so SP. What does SP stand for? Super.
What does SP stand for?
Yeah.
SP.
Hey,
Super
Kristen.
pathetic.
Hey, what's up, Tessa? Okay, so here we go, Ronnie. Let's try to get through this interview.
Someone said your head looks scrumptious. Is that me or Jeanette? You can't
Clearly
really
mine.
see.
Clearly mine. Wait, Ronnie, you have your own fruit festival, but you refuse to buy a tripod. Why can't, do you need more people to attend? Do you need to work out the budget? Why can't you get a tripod?
I've got this thing here, and it broke. I've got this guy, but he broke. So I'm just holding it. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's okay.
Is
Okay.
this broken?
Yeah. Okay. I didn't expect anything. Oh, I didn't
I don't need
expect any
I
better.
don't need a tripod. I have a film. I have a my own, film staff, production crew. I don't need the for the festival.
Oh, the jokes are coming out. Okay. Um, so Ronnie, I want to know your story because we got a lot of amazing people here. Thank you guys for being here. And I don't actually know Ronnie's story. So, Ronnie, a lot of people want to start their own festival. And it's like a dream of all these fruity weirdos. Every fruity
I
weirdo I've ever met wants to start their own festival, and that's
I
amazing.
don't think
So,
they do. I don't
so
think
and
anyone wants to start this.
and if you can do it, anybody can do it. And so now my first question is, Ronnie, how did you discover the fruity lifestyle?
Can I just address? There's a comment here that says he said something about the festival constantly asking for a truck driver. Yeah, maybe that
That
was one of
wasn't
the
it,
things I said.
Tessa, that
I'm
wasn't
like,
it. Trust me, that
why
wasn't
are you constantly promoting for a truck driver? Like anyway, but I like how about you get more people to come? Like I don't. Anyway, doesn't matter. I just want to say hello. Thank you, Annabella, and those who commented. And thanks, Kirsten, if you're still here or not. But explain yourself. All right, okay. The fruitarian lifestyle. I don't know. I've not got a great story, but I was. Let me think. Let me think. How far do you want me to go back to the very, very start, or like more recent? Well, I'll start from being vegan. So I was vegan already.
okay.
No, no, I wasn't. I was vegetarian. I was vegetarian because I went to a psychic development class. Have you ever heard of that?
A psychic? No.
Yeah, I went along to a mid. I I used to like follow. I still do it a little bit. I used to just follow the signs of the universe, right? So I was doing some meditation, and came across a meditation poster for a class, and the class was in a building that was right across the road from the house I was born in, right, or the house I grew up in, right. And I thought, wow, this is the synchronicity, the universe speaking or whatever. So I went to this meditation class, and it was like a couple that did psychic stuff and mediumship, which is speaking to spirits, right? This is a bit of a weird story. So I joined their group, and I was there, and they said, if you keep going to this group, you might change your diet. And I didn't really believe them, but over time I did start to think about the whole eating animals thing, and then I lost my taste for eating meat. And one night I came home and I didn't want to eat meat again, and I just never did again. And like, so that's how that happened. But I wasn't really like vegetarian for health reasons or whatever, but I did feel a benefit. And over the next year, I was kind of just naturally cutting out animal products, right? So I was naturally cutting out animal products, and then a friend posted Earthlings, and I watched that, and I was like, okay, I'm ready to do this, And then, but I didn't know how to be a vegan, and I'd made fun of, like, my brother used to be a vegan, and I'd like made fun of him and stuff and all, but like I was that bad guy, like, oh, it's your tradition to be not a vegan or whatever. Like, our ancestors didn't eat meat and whatever. So I used to say those things, but I watched that, and then I didn't know what to do. So I went on YouTube. I don't know why I didn't ask my friend who was a vegan. Like, I didn't ask any of my vegan friends, but I went on YouTube, and I wrote like, how do you get protein on a vegan diet? And I came across Tim Van Orden's video, and he was the first person I came across talking about, and I just interviewed him recently actually. But so he said, blah blah blah, protein, amino acids, fruit. I'm strong. I'm an athlete. I've got big muscles. And I was like, I kind of thought, oh, maybe if I eat just fruit, I'll get big muscles. I kind of thought that. I was like, I'll get like a chimpanzee strength.
Yeah.
And so I kind of was intrigued by it, and then just started down that rabbit hole. Just started eating more fruit, trying out more fruit, and was doing it. Kind of got to the point where I could do a day raw food, then like a week. I went into work and I said I'm going to do a week of raw food, and it didn't last. So, and I was trying to like live on vegetables and stuff. I didn't know how to do it at all. So but I felt benefits, and then so I was curious, and I kept on going down that path. Came across Durian Rider, who had a much clearer message. Tim's great, but he didn't have a very clear like how to do it. Harley was more clear, and that led to 80-10-10 and all that stuff. And what was weird about Harley, well, not weird, but I'd just come back from New York. I went to New York in 2011, like the year that Woodstock was first on. I was in New York, but I was with an ex-girlfriend. Like, she wanted to go to New York. I wasn't that bothered, but she was like really into New York. So we were there, and we were in Central Park and all that. So when I came back, I saw Harley's videos. He was in training in Central Park, and I was like, wow, I might have seen that guy. I might have like walked past him. And then I saw these videos of the Woodstock Festival, and when I looked at that, I was like, this is like this. I was like, oh, these are all enlightened people like coming together, and like it was. I was just thinking, this is a new. And there's guys like somersault. All there's great clips in that video of like somersaulting guys, and everyone's doing 50 push-ups and all this like great footage. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is what happens when you do this diet. You like start to do somersaults and stuff, and everyone's dead spiritual and amazing, you know. So I was really called to that festival, and I went to the Woodstock, and then that's where I really committed to the diet and really stuck to it from there. Was the Woodstock Festival, and meeting the people there, and it just, you know, you're just in that environment where it's sort of normal, and also like meeting older people that had done it, like people that had done it for 20 years or 30 years, and they were just like, I just loved the fact that they were like totally committed to that kind of diet, and I just thought, this, like, that's what I want to be like. Especially a guy called Robert Lockhart, who's passed away now, but he was like an older guy, and he was like exercising in the morning, doing pull-ups and all this stuff, and I like, I want to be like that guy. Like, that's what I want to be like when I'm his age. So that, you know, that was where it went to from there. That's basically the start of my raw vegan journey, as people want to call it.
So you started, this is so interesting, Ronnie, because I've never asked you, because, you know, I don't really want to talk to you, but now I am asking you these questions, and I want to know, and I'm so interested. So you started in 2011?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
That's the first year of the festival. Wow, that's amazing. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it was literally it was like September 2011 was when I found those videos and started going with it. So it's like I came home from New York, and I don't know if I'd somehow picked up the energy or something like that's, and you know, in a mystical way, I'm like, maybe I was like walked past the Fruit Look or something in Central Park, or who knows? Like, I don't know. I picked up something maybe from being there, but yeah, and it's funny because when I was leaving there, I said to my girlfriend at the time, I was like, she said, would you go back to New York? And I was like, probably not, like, unless I had a reason. And I went back to New York every single year after that. Like,
yeah, Ronnie has
every single year.
Yeah, you've been at you've been at 10 fruit festivals, right?
Yeah, I went to all the ones at Camp Walden. There's one in Hawaii that I didn't go to, and I didn't go to the first one. But
Yes.
Camp Walden is like a sacred place for me, you know. So,
Yeah,
sorry.
no, same, totally. I think that's for a lot of people that have gone. It's a very special place, and my life changed there for sure. My whole life changed, and so, okay, I have so many questions for you, Ronnie, but I want to jump to you starting your own fruit festival, because literally that is a dream for so many raw vegans, because they want community. And you know, the Woodstock Fruit Festival is amazing, and you know, the fruit's amazing, the nature, the land is amazing, but it has nothing to do with that. You know, as you know, it's all about the community and the people that go. That's the magic of the festival. And so I know why people want to start their own, because they want to create that magic in their hometown, and you actually did it. And so can you tell me, when did you start the UK Fruit Festival? What year?
Yeah, so I came home from Woodstock in 2012, and when I went, and I was at that time as well, and I don't know if it's as much like that now, but then it was like, this is a mission, this is a movement. And like, there was real, like when Michael Arnstein gave a presentation at the start and all the different speakers, like it was really like, this is taking over the world. That was the feeling at the time, right? Because like the festival had like doubled in size in a year or something. It was like, this is going to keep on like just getting bigger and bigger, right? So, and we're going to be too big for Camp Malden, that was like the vibe. Like we're probably only going to be here 1 or 2 years. It's going to be way too big. Um, and so I came home like I wanted like help to share this message where I totally believed in the whole message, right? And then but I also like was new and didn't really still was quite new to the whole thing. So I went online and like there was a guy called Evan Rock had a meetup group, meetup.com. So I came home and I thought, well, I'll start a meetup group. And I went on the 30 Bananas a Day forum and I was looking for people in my city because I was kind of thinking I want to find people to learn from. And what I kind of found was a lot of the people that had been interested, but they weren't so interested. What like they'd kind of come and gone or whatever. They maybe had a passing interest, and so I started a meetup group, and that was like the first little thing I did. And there were friends that were from the UK that had been at Woodstock, and I think we had a meetup that year, but it was like just maybe in London or something. We might have had a little gathering. We had a WhatsApp group and all that stuff. So there was a group that was kind of meeting up in the UK, and the next year I said to myself, like, I totally loved the festival. I was like, this is the best thing in my life. That was literally what I thought to myself, like, this is the best thing in my life right now is this community and this festival that I went to, right? And I believe in that sort of follow your excitement thing, right? Oh, you follow your highest excitement, right? So I thought, like, I'm just going to go to more of these festivals. So the next year, I had a friend called Connor who I met at Woodstock, and he's not been going in a while, but he was going to Thailand. So I went to Thailand, kind of followed him out to Thailand. And then there was a bunch of festivals in Europe, like there was a Danish festival, there was a Spanish festival, there was a Slovenia festival. A lot of the Danish festival was actually older than Woodstock, but like the Slovenian festival was new, so there's like these events were kind of popping up. And so I kind of thought, right, I'm just going to go to all of these. Like I just eventually sort of thought, I'm going to go to all these events. And I loved all of them. Like every single one of them, I was like, loved it, and I just got so into it, and I loved learning from the teachers and the mentors as well. Like I really took that seriously. I was like, I liked going to the lectures and stuff. I wasn't just there. I was never like a trying to hook up guy, like that's some people. That's fine if you want to do that at the festivals, but I was like trying to learn and stuff and all that stuff. So,
we'll get back
but
to that
then,
later. We'll get back
but
to
that group from the UK. The lady that was kind of organising the group, she sort of disappeared. She was one of these people that sort of would disappear now and again. So I think that I sort of volunteered to help organise a little gathering, and it kind of became slightly bigger. We had this little campsite, and there was what's called yurts. Like Mongolians have these big tents, but they're like nice tents. So we organised that. So I basically organised that, and we made it open to the public, and like 25 people came, and it was quite a good weekend, and it was like really just friends meeting up. But I'd had this excitement in me, and this thing of like, we should do a festival, we should do a festival, we should do a festival, and I'd never done anything like that. But I was kind of like, I need to do something in my life, I need to do something, right? So, so. And basically, I said to the guys at that little thing with like 25 people at it, I said, I want to put on a festival. If anyone wants to help or be part of it, we'll have a meeting at whatever time in tent number 2 or whatever. And like 10 people came to join the meeting, and we just decided to try and make a festival happen. and it went from there. Basically, that was the idea to start, and yeah, and then that led to like a really crazy year, like a, a very bizarre year of my life and difficult year. But you know, the yeah, well, that's that up to there. I don't know if you want to know any more details than that, but
Well,
basically that was what it was. We're getting a lot of comments here, sexy
we
people.
are. We are. So Chris Kendall, one of our favorite people on earth. He doesn't want to be weird, but he just called us cute. There's nothing weird about admitting that we're cute, Chris. There's nothing weird
We
about
got
that.
called we got called cute by Kirsten Maxwell as well.
We're cute because we eat fruit.
She said
So that's what
cuties.
happens. That's what happens. So
Waitress.
yeah, we got a lot of questions, Ronnie. So let's pause your lengthy answers to answer a few questions. Okay, Boo. So here we go. What number one? What is your favorite fruit, Ronnie?
Uh, Probably durian.
Yes. I don't know if they're asking you or me, so I'm just going to answer the questions too. So durian it is for me as well. Okay,
Can I
next
just
question.
say, like, I almost never eat durian, but I probably would put it as my favorite fruit. Like, I eat a lot of tomato. I eat more tomatoes than durian, but I don't want to say tomatoes is my favorite fruit. That's silly.
I have a tomato here. Durian is my favorite fruit, and I agree, Ronnie, because this year at the festival, I literally had too much durian. I had too much, but I've never had too much mangoes or too much watermelon. Do you feel me on this?
Yeah, I totally feel you. Yeah, you could because durian as well. Like, you start to smell of durian and stuff. Like, there's something different about it.
It's a delicacy,
But
guys. You don't want to eat too much. It's a delicacy. So my favorite fruit is durian. That doesn't mean I need it all day, every day. Like I could eat watermelon or mangoes all day, every day. But durian is next level. And if you've never
it
had
can
it, then you don't know. Okay, next.
it kind of makes you high. Chris Kendall says tomatoes for breakfast. Like,
Tomatoes for
man,
breakfast.
you know the plan. Do you know what I mean? Like, tomatoes for breakfast too many times, but it's not what I'd recommend. But yeah,
Ronnie, have you been high? Have you ever gotten high on durian?
I would say so. Yeah, but I would say it's like a little bit of a third eye pop feeling, like a kind of a little bit of a bing. But yeah, I felt good from durian, but also like I felt the for me the best feeling from fruit that I was so profound and strong in the first year of eating a lot of fruit was the waves of gratitude. They're just like waves of like gratitude. That was the amazing thing. And Chris has got a great story about going raw and like walking down the street and like basically bursting into tears and almost falling on his knees and like this like emotional overwhelming experience. And a lot of people have had that, like just from having a meal of fruit or whatever, bananas or something, and then just sitting and like just getting this wave of like gratitude and stuff going on. This is the amazing thing as well. Like, people forget about that and Rachel saying I have waves of gratitude from doing it, like waves of gratitude, just like proper, like so grateful for life and the world and all that. And the other thing I used to get, I was sitting work and I felt like my brain was like upgrading or something. It was some kind of weird, like all of a sudden, like just there's all sorts of really pleasant internal feelings that go on that you can't really, how do you explain it to people? But that's another thing that makes you go, yeah, I should keep doing this. I mean, I really like, even at the times when you're like, yeah, I'd really like to go and have junk food again, but there's this amazing stuff going on here, and I should try and stick with this.
Yeah, I
Um,
can totally relate. I've been raw vegan, guys, since 2011 too, just like Ronnie, uh, and eating a fruit-based diet since then. And there's some things that you can explain about it, and there's some things you can't. You have to feel it. There's some things you can't explain verbally. Like I can explain, I lost weight, I cleared my skin, but the feelings that Ronnie are talking about, you can only feel. And Chris Kendall, you're next. I'm gonna ask you to go live next with me. So hang tight, boo. Okay, Ronnie, we have so many questions. Try not to ramble on. Okay,
have
next
you like
question.
have you like double booked live here?
Wait, you?
This is yeah. Anyway, yeah. So is there other questions? Did people ask me questions in your questions?
We have many questions, Ronnie. So, how did you find out about eating fruit? Okay, Ronnie answered that. What is your favorite fruit festival and why? Well, Woodstock, obviously. If somebody wants to know if we're a couple of fruity weirdos. That's for sure. That's for sure. So, yeah. What is, Ronnie? So, tell us real quick about Fruity Fridays, which is probably like it's taking over the world, and it's probably the best thing that happens weekly regarding this lifestyle. Like, I love it. You have the most amazing guests. And tell me about, when did you start Fruity Fridays and how did you start it? It's a podcast, right?
I've got two things going on. So there's the podcast, it's called Love Fruit Podcast, which is interviews that pretty much go up every week. And I should have put up one this week, but I've not yet. But Yulia got interviewed from Woodstock. That was pretty cool. And I interviewed Tim, and but there's 115 interviews, right? So there's the idea was to just document the stories of raw vegans, basically. And that's what people say, like they listen to it, they get to hear other people's stories. It gives them encouragement, they feel less alone. People go, like, listen to them every week, they go walking. People have messaged me saying I've listened to every single one, so that's pretty cool. So that's that. I put that out on all the podcast platforms and YouTube as well. And then there's Fruity Fridays is live on a Friday night, and it's free to join, and it's there's not really interviews, more like presentations. So we have that, and it's nice. Sometimes we've had up to like 100 people, nearly 100 people like watching and joining. And that's cool. But it'd be nice to try and build it bigger or get more people. But we're just trying to keep it going at the moment.
So,
and rate, yeah.
So everybody watching, I didn't even know it was two things. Yeah, it's the Love Fruit podcast and then Fruity Fridays. Those are two different things. I'm so sorry. So now everyone that's watching, go follow Ronnie. That's number one. Ronnie doesn't put out like the best content, but his podcast and Fruity Fridays, A1. A1. It's worth following him just for that. He's not really like putting out too much reels and stuff like that. It's not really interesting. But his Fruity Fridays and Love Fruit podcast, amazing. Amazing. He has the best guests. Like, Ronnie, who's your guest this week on Fruity Friday?
I think it's Doug Graham and Rosalind Graham together.
You don't get better than that in the fruit community, okay? So, like, guys, go please follow Ronnie. He's amazing. Fruity Ronster. And I'll leave the links below because I'm going to put this on YouTube, Ronnie. So I'll leave all his links below, including to the podcast and the free Fruity Fridays, which meets on Zoom every Friday. And so, Ronnie, you're very good at interviews. You're very, very good. I know this interview is all over the place, but, I'm trying to be like you. I'm trying to get better. And so now, how did you get so good at interviewing people? Do you research a lot from them? Do you, how much time do you spend prepping? Because you're really one of the best interviewers I've ever interviewed with. Seriously.
I honestly don't think I do that much, though. Like, I don't think it's that
natural,
amazing what I do. Like, I think that a few people have said that to me though recently. So maybe there's something I do, but I don't think I should do more research. Like, but a lot of these people I sort of already know who they are, or I know them. Some of them I've met them, or some of them I've looked at their stuff for years, so I kind of know them, but I basically just have a list of questions in my head that I can pick out, and then I just let them talk. There's nothing that I actually do special. Like, I just let them talk. So that's what people want to hear. So I don't think I do anything. I don't think I'm that good or anything. My first question is like, did you grow up on this kind of diet, or how did you grow up? How did you find this diet? What was your health like? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I just ask them basic questions. And then now and again, if they say something that I find interesting, I'll try and jump on that and be like, I want to learn more about that, or I want to hear more, or it sounds interesting to me, or whatever. But I think that basically people are interesting if you let them talk about themselves. So it's really them that are interesting. It's not.
No.
Not really.
No. I know what you did. I figured out what you did. You're not telling us your secret, but I know what you did. You put in the reps, boo. You just put in the reps. You just did 150 podcasts. And guys, if you want to get better at anything, just do it. I'm sure Ronnie's podcast, Ronnie, your first podcast ever, was it good?
I don't know. I mean, you can.
I promise
It
you it
was
was.
with. Do you know what's funny? The first one was with a girl called Ann Jensen. I actually watched it back recently, but it's not that different to the rest of them because it is just like I asked them what was their upbringing, why did they start changing their diet? Like it's basic questions like tips for beginners, what are the mistakes people make? I don't think that I have like a basic list of questions and then the additional thing of that is if I know them a bit. I think the one I did with Tim recently, the one I did with you, I don't know Yulia that. Even I've been to Woodstock a lot, but I've not really had a lot of conversations with Yulia. But I know about the festival, so I've got lots of things that I want to know. And I could have asked her, I could have spoke to her for like 5 or 6 hours just asking her questions about the festival. But maybe we'll leave that for another time. But like Tim, I knew Tim for since 2012 or whatever, and have had some spent time with him and know him. I wouldn't say I know him like tremendously well, but I've had good times with him.
Tim
And
Van Horton you're talking about, right?
yeah, Tim Van Orden is I don't think he's exactly a raw foodist anymore, right? I don't think he necessarily follows a raw vegan diet, but he's a vegan. He's a long-term vegan, healthy vegan, and all that. And he went raw. His story is so interesting because basically he was working in this restaurant and all these people were coming in and vegan restaurant and he was an actor in LA and all these people were his friends and stuff of his were like telling him like you should go raw, you should do raw food. So all these people and this couple said to him, we'll pay for you to eat raw for a week. Like these friends of his that were a couple, like a wealthy couple, they were like, we'll pay for a week for you to go raw, to go all the raw restaurants and everything. So he just kind of went along with that and got into the scene. And there was like a really cool raw food scene at the time in LA. And it was and he created this idea to try and get into the Olympics as like a 40-year-old guy to see could a raw food diet, like with the energy that he got, could that propel him to actually be an athlete in the Olympics? And that started his YouTube channel and everything. And he started putting stuff out there and he started getting asked to go and speak. And it sounds like at that time, there were like really cool raw food communities like all over the country. He was talking about speaking at groups with like 200 people at it, like all around the country and stuff. So it's interesting. He was like there at quite an exciting time with that, but also he became part of the whole Woodstock thing. He was at Woodstock for many, many years and kind of still should be. I don't know. He's a little bit, he sometimes, I don't know, maybe he feels like he doesn't fit in or something, but I think that's in his own head maybe. But no, he's great. So like we had a good conversation. But I don't know, Jeanette, like I just think that I don't speak too much. That's the secret.
Yeah, because this interview, you're speaking a lot. So it's the energy is no, just kidding, Ronnie. No. You put in the reps, and also you're just you love to learn. I can see that, and you're curious about the speakers, and that's authentic, and so it shows. And so thank you. You're really good at interviews. Really, really good. I thought you researched more, to be honest, the way you conduct the interviews. Okay, so now I guess you're just a natural. Okay.
Well, I've got a good I don't really research, but I've probably got a good memory of like if I was to interview you, I've probably got a good memory of you, what I know about you, what I've learned, what I've seen. So
you have. I've
maybe
been
I've got
on
a good.
Fridays, and I've been on Love Fruit.
I might have a good memory, and I'm just accumulating like a little data bank of stuff I know about Jeanette that I can then threaten you with or like bring it up in a conversation like this. But like, I'll hold back from that. But I think maybe I've just got a good memory for that. I probably do, and that helps.
Yeah, being raw also really helps with your mind for sure. I mean,
Well, I hope so,
I
yeah.
had so much brain fog before I went raw. And by the way, guys, I have been on Fruity Fridays and the Love Fruit podcast. And yeah, that Ronnie was amazing. He was one of my first interviews ever. Ronnie was one of my first interviews actually, and I was like, "Whoa, yeah, it was really good, Ronnie." And so a lot of people have actually messaged me and come up to me in real life at the Woodstock Fruit Festival saying they discovered me from your podcast. So thank you for that.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
they loved me on the podcast. And okay, so a few more questions, Ronnie. And if anybody has any questions for Fruity Ronster, please put it in the question comment below. But my next question for you is, can you please tell us, for the people watching that have never been to Woodstock Fruit Festival, okay, can you tell us a few things that you love about the festival and a few of your like favorite memories of the last 10 years Woodstock Fruit Festivals?
Yeah. Like, firstly, I would say it's hard to describe exactly, but I personally feel different there, I would say. Like, I personally feel like life is different there and people are different there. And like, I was sitting, there's times where I'm just sitting with people and just enjoying the moment way more than usual. Like, and just being so blown away by the people there. I don't know, like, I don't know if the people there are better than some other places you
They
go, but it
are.
kind of
They are.
feels, yeah, it kind of feels like that. And then I do think everyone eating fruit, everyone eating raw, it just elevates everyone. And with that particular camp, it was a perfect sort of venue for with I think it's great when for us to be seeing the water. You know, we were right at the lake, you know, and then there's the trees behind us, and we're on a little hill. And it's a real beautiful place, and the weather was like so perfect almost all the time at Woodstock. Like it rained a couple of times, but over the years, it's not that many days that it actually rained, you know, or that it was windy or dark or anything. Um, my so I just love the whole vibe of the place and the vibe of being in community with people. Um, and in terms of like my specific memories that I really have enjoyed of moments that I've enjoyed, the durian party this year, both of them, like the one at the end and the one at the start, were just beautiful experiences. Like the dancing, one at the start was kind of wild and dancing and people. I hate when people bring the durian on the dance floor. Like, put the durian away. So like people like throwing it around and like someone's gonna get hurt here, right? But so I loved that. And then and then the one at the end was like um, the Musan King sort of nice formal. That was beautiful. I love that. I love seeing Alfredo, you know, presenting and all that stuff. So I love it when people come together and yeah, I mean, I've personally like I've only ever contributed to the event through playing a bit of music. I've enjoyed that at times. You know, being able to play at the talent shows and things. That's been nice. The dancing with with Kirsten or Paul Isaac was amazing as well when he was there. But honestly, like I just think about moments sitting with friends by the lake and eating fruit together, and just like that's and if you say that to people, they're like, "Oh, you just sat with people and ate fruit." You're like, "Well, that's what it is." But it was, I mean, in bliss. Like that's what it feels like. And I think the funny thing, Jeanette, is like there's people that have said to me, because I went many times, and there's people that have said to me recently, like, I should have just kept going like you. I should have just went every year like you did. And it's like, I wish you had too. Like, I wish everyone had. So,
Yeah.
uh, but yeah, it's been brilliant in so many ways, and I've been really lucky to have found it, and really smart to have kept going. It was a really good choice for me that I sat and thought this was really good. I should keep going to this. And the weird thing, what a lot of people do, Jeanette, is they go, "This was really good. what else is out there, right?
Right,
Maybe there's
right.
something better. Maybe there's something else. And I'm always like, if you find something good, like just keep doing it. Like, why not just keep going? And that's every year I went back. Every year it was amazing. And, and sometimes I would think, why am I going back? And then I would know straight away, like when I turned up, the energy, the vibe, like, and get, over the years, you get to know the people. You get to know people and you get to really have affection for the people there. And
Yeah.
it was very emotional for me being there. Always very beautiful thing.
Ronnie, what you just said was so profound for the raw vegan lifestyle. When you find something that's amazing and it works, stick with it. And that's
For
the
sure.
problem with most, no, seriously, let's just get into this real quick. That's the problem with most people out there and most of my clients. And I'm sure most of the people that want to be coached by you as well. They find the diet, they try it, they feel amazing, and they want to go to the next level. And they want to get cleaner and they want to go to the next and the next.
Right.
But guys, if you find something amazing, that's what me and Ronnie have been doing since 2011. We've just been sticking to what works. And that's a fruit-based diet full of all the fruit and veggies that you want. If you want to have nuts and seeds, have those too. But stick to it long enough to see the results and stay with it.
The-
Stay the course and you will just keep getting benefits. You don't need to go to the next level and the next level and the next level.
Yeah, I like to
You
say that.
will go to the next level if you stick to something. Sorry.
No, I just think that the fruit-based diet, and I would suggest like a raw fruit-based diet, but fruit-based diet is the end point of diet. Like there's no level above that for me. And I don't think drinking just juice or something is any better or whatever. I've loved experiences when I had a time where I just ate mangoes for 115 days, like nearly 4 months, where I just ate mangoes. I loved that. I loved the simplicity of that. I love eating just fruit sometimes, and I mean, most of my diet is just fruit, and like I love that. And so, but there's no like, it's not a stepping off point for breatharianism or like there's nothing after that. So to me, it's like, okay, once you've got on this diet, once you're comfortable with it and you're happy and you've got into a rhythm of it and you're confident, and that's important. People have to be confident in it so that when someone's saying to you, oh, this guy says the carnivore diet and this one says B12 and this, like, you just don't care about that stuff anymore because you know what you're doing is you're confident in what you're doing. When you get to that point, it's stop thinking about diet. Like you've got it. You've got it going now. Look at the other things in your life. You've just taken one of the major things in your life and made it the best you can. And now it's time to look at other parts of your life, like, and do the same. Like if you've done this, you can do this for everything else in your life. So maybe it's your career, maybe it's your hobbies or interests, or giving back to your community or charity work, or your family life, your relationship, all these spirituality, all these other aspects of life to focus on, and other aspects of health like your sleep and um, even just like organizing your life better and having a better environment for yourself, maybe living in a better location if that's like Jeanette moved to Florida, so but you're right, like too many people are trying to tweak the diet to a perfection level, and it's like there's you're not going to get a huge benefit anymore from going from fruit like raw vegan diet to juice only diet or like or whatever. Like we won't get that much of a difference. The big difference will then come from other things in your life that you can improve.
I
So
totally agree. I totally agree, Ronnie. And the consistency is the upgrading. If you stay with it long enough, you will get more and more and more benefits. You will, but you've got to stick to something and see it out. And I'm telling you, so many people fall off because they want to try something new. Well, try a new fruit, boo. Try a new fruit. Okay? Don't try a new diet. But
yeah,
anyway, so Ronnie, you're amazing. This was a good interview. This was good. So I take it back that I'll never go live with you again. This was good. Also, I asked really good questions too. So, like obviously that's why. But I wanted to ask you, what is something, well, you mentioned B12 real quick. I need to just let's just clarify this real quick. What's your view on B12? Are you deficient? Have you been deficient? You've been 11 years on a raw vegan diet. How are you not dead yet? What's your B12 situation?
I don't know. I've never really tested for B12. But I mean, I've been what would you call it? Student of like natural hygiene and Doug Graham and things like that. So like Doug was always saying, "Oh, you swallow your spit and there's B12 in it or whatever." I don't know if he's right about that exactly, but he would say stuff like that. So I've never really taken B12 and I've never supplemented. I'm actually not saying that that's right to do and not recommending that to people. But I was kind of, I guess I was sort of thinking like, firstly, I kind of like the idea that you didn't need it, maybe, and I wanted to see how long you could go, and then, but that might be a bad idea, you know, like that. This might not work out. But the only thing I've ever had that was close to a blood test was something in a like a little study I was part of, and they didn't bring up anything negative. So I think I'm probably okay for the moment. But I would say with B12, it's one of those things that most of a lot of the vegan doctors say that you should check it or you should take it. There are some that aren't that strong on it. They're kind of like, yeah, okay, you should take it. They're not very strong on it. Um, Generally, vegans, if you look at all the studies and stuff, vegans and raw vegans, not just vegans, but raw vegans. There's only one study on raw vegans of B12, but they will test lower than average. Generally, they'll test lower. Um, and I don't know if that 100% means therefore they're deficient. I don't know, but I'm not an expert in this subject, and I don't know. I just don't see how, like if primates, and we're like a primate, so if there's primates out in the jungle and they can only eat fruit or only eat plants for a while, like how would they, and how would they die B12 deficient? It seems like a really weird thing to be set up in nature to die or be totally neurologically destroyed by a lack of a bacteria. I think when there's bacteria like all around us, inside us, everywhere, the most bacteria in the planet is like within the guts of animals, you know. So I don't know.
What is Doug Graham's view on B12?
Well, I don't. I mean, I can say what I think he says about it, but I don't want anyone to think this is word for word. So
Okay.
please feel free to research what he says. But my impression with what Doug was saying was, firstly, he's not against supplementation, and I think he has done it himself at times. So I think he has said that if you need to do that, then that's not a problem. But that you should try and improve the parts of your life that are leading to the problem. You know, so if you that's the way he looks at deficiencies. Sometimes is if someone does have that, what are the aspects of their life? And it's not just their diet, but what about stress? And he talks about stress being an issue. But he basically says that B12 is something that is created by bacteria, and that these bacteria are like universal, like they're all around us. We breathe them in. They're in our nasal passages. You know, when we swallow or whatever, that we're getting some amount of B12. That there's B12 on on the food that we eat. Maybe not huge amounts, but there is B12 there. So he said various things about it like that, but he certainly doesn't say like don't supplement or that. But when I was listening to him, he gave me sort of a feeling like, I don't think it's that important or whatever. But other people have had different experiences. So there's one other thing though I've seen, Jeanette, where some people who are vegan, something happens to them and they'll attribute it to B12 without there really being and also, like I met someone at Woodstock this year and he was like, oh yeah, I got a problem with, I had a calcium deficiency, he said, right? And And I was like, well, who diagnosed that? And it hadn't been diagnosed. It was just something that he believed they had, you know. So people do that in this community sometimes where they assume
Yeah.
that there's something lacking in this diet, whereas the people on the really shitty diet would never assume that their really shitty diet was causing their health problems, even though it does. But like they would never go, "Oh yeah, I've probably got a calcium deficiency here," you know.
Yeah, it's
So people are,
probably the French fries or the burgers. No, they never think
yeah,
that. It's That's so funny.
people are, yeah, raw vegans and vegans are, I heard this word recently, hyper vigilant, when it comes to deficiency or nutritional issues. They're like hyper vigilant. They're way too focused on it, and so that's. But yeah, Doug, I don't think I've had a number of conversations about it and with him, and he also said one time to me that he was in a room with a bunch of different doctors, like vegan doctors, and they were trying to actually come up with what is the definition of B12 deficiency, and they couldn't agree on it because he said that he was saying some of them said if your B12 is below the recommended level, that's deficiency, but the other group said like there's a bit of a debate there, I suppose.
Uh, what was the last thing you
I love
said? Somebody called me
yeah,
just now. What was the
I
second?
love but I love Doug, and Doug's a great mind, you know, and we're lucky to have Doug, and he's a great guy. You could interview Doug 100 times and get like different information, like more, like he's a real well of information, you know, like he really goes deep.
Yeah, I'm excited. I have an interview coming up with him on my channel. And yeah, okay. So thank you for that. Thank you for that, Ronnie. And so let's leave the people with something. Okay, well, we got a lot of questions. I just want to ask you a few more, Ronnie, if that's okay. How, somebody wants to know, can you please start a fruit festival in India, Ronnie?
Well, I think there was a guy, we've had some Indian people over at the UK festival, and there was actually a guy that he came over to our festival and he was telling us that he was part of a foundation that had planted like 1 billion fruit trees or something like that, like literally like 1 billion trees. Um, so I would, I've helped start festivals before. I have played a little bit of a role. Sometimes I don't want to say too much about that, but I have helped a little bit with, and one event I helped like significantly with, but it can be, yeah, in the right circumstances I can maybe give advice or help someone, but there's been times where people have come to me and they're like they want to start a festival, and I did like a 15-minute chat with them, asked them some questions, learned a bit about them, and I said to them, listen, I don't recommend you do this because I can kind of have a good idea if someone's in the right position to do that or if it's likely to be successful. Now that person did put on an event, and it was not what they kind of had in their mind to do. You know, it wasn't what they'd originally planned. And the original plan was like, in 60 days' time, we're going to have 100, we're going to have 200 people at this thing. They're all paying $2,000 each. And I was like, wait, how are you making this happen in 60 days? It was like a really huge goal, which, by the way, I could probably do that, but that's 10 years of experience. And for someone to just do that out of the blue with no experience and no, like, it was, and no relevant experience, it was like really, you know, they weren't starting from a good position. So, um, but yeah, I mean, I, I do want to kind of put on more. There's part of me that would like to start festivals all over the world and like have a team of people. And there's another part of me that's like, maybe I should just make the UK festival as good as it can be and do more events in the UK and just focus on that. And then maybe you could do both of those things, you know. I mean, but I see the potential of these events, and it's always like with with Woodstock, you know, I've never got involved with Woodstock, and I'm happy not to, but always looked at it and went, wow, the potential. Like if they would, like if they filled this camp, like, you know, it would be amazing, you know. But I would just you just have to let things be, and let people do their thing. Other people have festivals and they let them fall apart or they let them die out or whatever, which is really sad to me, because they're brilliant. Like they're a great thing to offer.
Oh yeah.
That's the one thing. Like I love, and I don't like. We've all, and we've all got, or a bunch of us have books or courses or coaching and have done stuff like that. And I think all that's great and people want it for sure. Um, but with a festival, like you give so much to people and like when they've paid you to go, like they've got every piece of their money's worth and more, and it's great. It's a really great thing to offer. And that's one of the reasons I've kind of focused on that and wanted to focus on that was like it really feels like you've given something, offered something really great, and that
Yeah.
people have got something great out of it. And I've always kind of thought, oh, if I did coaching or if I did courses or if I did that, like you could make more money doing that, or or it'd be an easier life, or you could like blah blah blah. But I don't think that really excites me that much. And the festival has just been, it's been a great. By the way, it's been a great learning experience. Really super amazing learning and development experience to do an event. Um, but yeah, India. I mean, it'd be great to do something in India, or there's a guy that wants to do something in Kenya. But sometimes people are wanting like, hey, can you fund this, or can you like, is there like they want like charity or something, or like,
Yeah, no, Ronnie
but
cannot fund anything. All his money goes to tomatoes. Okay, he cannot fund anything, guys. But
that's quite literally true.
I wanted to say real quick, Ronnie, before you move on to another subject, because that what you said is the key. Woodstock Fruit Festival, UK Fruit Festival, the Dutch Fruit Festival. These festivals are so powerful and so much more amazing than courses and ebooks because it's real. It's real. Like people go and they live the lifestyle and you teach people in real life how to do it. There's the expression, you give a man a coconut. Okay, great. But you teach a man how to climb a coconut tree. That changes his life, And so these
Yeah.
fruit festivals, they change people's lives because they get experience living the lifestyle and seeing how amazing and easy and like abundant and beautiful it can be. And it's so easy,
Well,
but it's a mindset. And you
yeah,
gotta,
and
yeah.
yeah. And you've probably had people that have followed you for years, right? And that have messaged you and blah blah blah. But if they've never met you in real life, there's a gap there, but the people that met you once at Woodstock and spent some time with you and went to your classes, like you have much greater link with them and connection, and you know them better, and um, that's what I've always felt. And I've always felt like special things happen at these events, and connections form, and ideas come together, and all that kind of stuff. It's really it's different, and I think that people underestimate the power of going to a live event with real people. Like when people say, "Well, I know all that stuff. I don't need to learn." And my biggest annoyance of these festivals, Jeanette, and I've just had to accept this, and it's the same with the UK festival. Like most of the audience that come are brand new to this lifestyle,
Yeah.
and I would always like to have more people that were raw vegans and 100% raw vegans and stuff, but I don't know why, but they're not as attracted to coming to these events. And I've had friends from the US who live in an hour from Woodstock or whatever, or 2 hours or whatever, and they're like, oh, I've never been. And I'm like, you are out of your mind if you've not been to Woodstock and you live an hour away from it and you're a raw
Ronnie,
vegan. Like,
I know
doesn't make
so
sense.
I know I have to cut you off. You're never gonna stop talking. I know so many raw vegans, Ronnie, that have never been to Woodstock. And guess what? Like me and you, we were raw vegan before Woodstock. I mean, you went right away, but I waited 6 years. I was raw vegan for 6 years. I didn't go to Woodstock to learn how to be raw vegan. I went for the community. And the second I went, Ronnie, my whole life changed. Guys, I'll do a whole live on Woodstock's page about how Woodstock changed my life. But I live in Miami now. I live in the tropics now. I work for myself now. I run the festival now. Like
Oh,
my
this like yeah, Jeanette, like the amount of people that I've known that, they went to Woodstock for the community and the like eating fruit and all that. And they went on to like I had friends like I can literally think of one friend in my mind that went from like basically sleeping in a garage, like sleeping in some crazy like situation to, starting his own online business based around this stuff at first, and then he kind of changed did other things, but based around health mostly. And became independently, financially independent, traveling the world, doing like. There's so many people like that I've known. That like there was Elise, Elise Brock. Now she's not a vegan anymore, or whatever. But Ravana, like these were all people that went to Woodstock, met these people that were inspiring them. Maybe went to a class where someone's like, "Here's how you do an online business," or "Here's how you promote this stuff. Here's how to do YouTube." Like Durian Rider used to do YouTube classes, and then people would go and start a YouTube channel, and all of a sudden, you know, they've got 1 million subscribers or 2 million subscribers, and they're sharing this. And it's crazy. So
yeah.
it's not just the health thing, which is brilliant and all that stuff, but the way that it transforms for someone to be around someone like you transforms their reality because they're not around someone like you that much that is works for themselves, lives where they want, sets their own, is totally healthy and vibrant and all that stuff. There's not that many people around like that. So when you meet a whole crowd of people like that, it totally changes your paradigm, and you're all of a sudden like, I should be doing that. So it's amazing. And my one other bugbear about that, if that's the right word, is that some of those people don't fully attribute Woodstock with being that point in their life that everything changed. And they're kind of like, yeah, that raw vegan, yeah, I tried that raw vegan diet a few years ago. I'm like, that raw vegan diet and that community changed your life, and they're not like fully accepting that in a way. So anyway.
Good, great points. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's such a great topic of conversation. Why so many raw vegans and healthy, like high raw people don't go to Woodstock because they think they know everything already. Like, like they're not a noob. So many noobs go every year. We get so many new people and I
Yeah.
love it. But like, where are they the next year? Are they even eating any fruit the next year? And I love meeting, I've met so many, I'm sure you have too, so many fans, and so many people have come up to me this year at Woodstock saying I inspired them, and that's amazing. But I would really love to see you next year. I would love to know that you don't have to be raw, but I would love to know that you've eaten fruit every day for a year. Come
Yeah.
back and see how much better you feel and how much more you
Yeah.
get out of the festival. It's not about
And
learning the diet. Oh, sorry.
yeah, exactly. And I've always seen the festival as a holiday and a place to relax and enjoy it. And I think that the other thing is that there's a temptation when you become part of a social group like that. There's sort of a temptation, and some people are like major like climber type of like they want to be running the whole thing. That they're come to an event they're like, this is amazing, and how do I become the star of this? And it's like people that aren't even vegan and all that stuff, like, trying to run the event and trying to run classes and stuff. And like, stop. Like, just come and enjoy the event. Go to the classes and learn about this diet so you can do the diet first. And then down the road, maybe, Doug Graham did 10 years of free lectures before he ever, like, got a book out or anything, like, and was coaching people for years without taking any money for it and stuff like the people. Karen Ramsey's probably the same, like Dr. Sam, Don Bennett, like all these people did years of like speaking and teaching and just helping people out when there was no festival, there was no online stuff, right? There was just there was maybe little meetup groups or something or cafes they went to, but there wasn't much going on. They were just sharing it as a passion. So I always think that go to it and enjoy it. I know that
Yes.
you like to work at it and you need to have something to do, so I respect that. But like I always say to people, like, just go and enjoy the thing. Like, you don't have to, because people end up trying to run classes and do different stuff, and then and I've seen this with volunteers particularly, like people go back and they volunteer, and then they burn themselves out because they're like volunteering all the time and all that stuff. So I just think if you get the opportunity to go, and I would like to ask you, what is the news of Woodstock for
Well, if you would
next
stop,
year?
if you would stop talking, I could say it, Ronnie. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We love you, Ronnie. Okay, so yes, what Ronnie said is absolutely true, and I agree with everything he says, except for when he talks bad about Daily Green Boost. Okay, so now I want to say that the Woodstock Food Festival 2023. Everybody, listen up. I know this is what you've been waiting for. There is an update. So this week, myself and Yulia, who is the person that Ronnie mentioned, Yulia has been involved with the Fruit Festival since the beginning. Hey, Ashley. Ashley just joined.
Hey, Ashley.
She's one of the managers at the Woodstock Fruit Festival. So she joined just in time. So we have an update. Myself and Yulia are going to be looking at a brand new venue this weekend. And it's very similar to Camp Walden. And
No
we're
way.
really, really, really excited. It's in Florida, though, upstate, a little bit up in Florida, near Orlando. We're going to look at it this weekend. We're looking at a few different places. We don't have anything set as far as the date or the venue, but the second we decide on it, the second we sign the contract, I will be on here letting everybody know, sending the newsletter, letting everybody know that it is happening. And most likely, what I can tell you is that we're thinking about days in either April or May 2023. April or May. It's not going to be in August anymore, guys, because it's very, very hot in Florida in August, right? We can't really do it here in August, but we're thinking April, May, and I promise you we will have an update very, very soon within the next few weeks. So I'm very excited, Ronnie. And listen, if you ever want to present, we would love for you. You don't want to present. We've asked you. You don't want to. So I just want you to know that.
Well, yeah, I mean, I feel a bit under pressure to present or whatever, but I think that like I guess I wouldn't mind experimenting with helping out in some way. I don't want to I'm not trying to force myself into it or whatever. But I mean, I've always just loved relaxing at the thing, but I mean, April, May 2023 in Florida. I mean, I definitely want to be there, and if it's anything like Camp Malden, then I'm super happy about that.
Yeah.
I'm amazed. Like honestly, when I left Walden this year, I was literally crying about it, right? But I was kind of like, I was thinking this is probably it, because I kind of thought, I've been in that position of you put on a festival, it's happened, everyone's went home, and then you go back home yourself and you sit and you think about it and you're like, do I want to do that again? And you have to really seriously think about it. And I was like, I wonder if Yulia's maybe just thinking of stopping it, So, and I also thought it won't be the same because it's not at Walden, but I think it will be. It won't be the same, but it will be the best parts of it will be the same,
Yeah, because as you know, and everyone watching this knows, if you've been to Woodstock Fruit Festival, it's not about the food. It's not about the location. It's honestly not. You know what it's about. It's about the community and the energy that happens when all these high vibrational beings come together. It's so magical. And I'm not being a hater about it. It's so incredible.
And both of those things were fantastic. Like the food and the venue were amazing. Like and there was one time where let's just name him, where John Kohler came out with an unusual video where he was like, oh, they should do better with the fruit of the Woodstock Festival. He was testing it all and it was not perfect and all that. And I couldn't believe it because it got so much better to the point that year, and I couldn't believe he'd made that video, making people lose confidence in the festival. And I would always say to people, one thing that's been great, that has been basically perfect the last like 5 years, has been the food. Like you couldn't ask for anything better with the food, and they keep on adding something better on. So that if it was, I mean, I would go to it if it was like bananas only. I would still go and I think we would have an amazing time bananas only. Like it would be like because then we'd eat like the evenings, right? We wouldn't would be like we're looking for something to do because we're not just kind of filled with salad or whatever or whatever, whatever it is, but like
I
yeah,
totally, yeah. It's not going to be bananas
was-
only, but Ronnie, why don't we start a bananas only fruit festival? Fuck it. Or watermelon. Ronnie, let's do a watermelon only festival.
I think that would really work. I actually think people would quite like that.
And who would
And
be better?
Tim,
Who would be better to do it than me and you?
that's fine, but like Tim Van Orden has a blueberry farm, and he literally I was interviewing him and he said, "Yeah, well, at the time of year, um, we've got too many blueberries, and we've got hundreds and hundreds of trees, and we've not got anyone to give them to." I'm like, and he said, "I was thinking of like bringing the people from the festival there," and I was like, "We should do that. We should have like blueberry Armageddon or whatever we'd call it, like."
Blueberry
So like everyone has
apocalypse.
everyone has their own tree, like 300 people, and everyone has their own blueberry tree,
Where does
and
he
like
live? Where does he live?
that's in Vermont.
Oh, it's
I don't,
cold there. Hmm.
yeah, but it's not that far from where the Woodstock was. That was the point. But
Yeah.
no, I mean, I think those kind of things could definitely work because people like I think we mistake the fact that that lifestyle's too difficult for people, but I think people are looking for difficult nowadays. Life's easy for a lot of people, and they've got soft in their head, they've got soft in their belly, and all that, and they're looking for a challenge.
Well, I
And
always, yeah, I agree. I agree. People don't realize that, and we have to go because I have to go. But people don't realize that doing hard things is the key to happiness. They don't realize that until they do it, until they run that marathon, until they go on that high fruit raw vegan diet. And it's hard in the beginning, but then it leads to so much fulfillment and happiness and pride and self-confidence and fortitude and grit and discipline, which makes you feel good, guys. It makes you
but,
feel,
but
it doesn't make you feel
yeah,
good to go on the beach and just drink watermelon juice all day and do nothing. What makes you feel
yeah,
good are the things that are hard for you to do and that you accomplish and you do them and then you feel like, wow, that's where you get self-esteem from and confidence. Yeah, Ronnie?
it's also I just want to say like it's not that hard. Like I think that all of us that went raw vegan, like we think, oh, it's quite hard and all that, but it's really not. It's not the worst thing in the world. It's not like and it's being a raw vegan is hard after like 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. or something. Before that, pretty much everyone can be raw vegan pretty easy, like breakfast and lunch and snacks and stuff. But in the evening, people struggle a little bit. So that's all people need to work on. Like get the evening right, prepare early in the day, and get around people. Like that's I think getting to the and it's hard because obviously I run a festival, so it sounds biased, but I've thought that coming to these events is like a real X factor, and if you take it seriously and you come and you use it to learn and you ask your questions and you get some people just want to come and hang out and have fun, and that's absolutely great. But it is an opportunity for you to sit with Jeanette and Karen Ramsey and Dawn and all these people and be like, wait, how do you actually figure this out? And how do you do it in the evening and social and
Yeah.
and you get the advice, and we'll all tell you, well, what you do is you get rid of all your friends and family and you just live a live a single life.
And you start running the Woodstock Fruit Festival, so you meet more friends. So yeah, okay. So Ronnie, yeah, let's continue this. Let's do another live soon, boo, because people are.
I need to do lives this month. I'm promoting my own festival, so I need to do like as many lives as possible this month.
Yeah, let's do some lives. Wait, here and on my
Okay.
page. But tell us about your festival and where people can find it, where people can find you.
Fruitfest.co.uk .co.uk, which is the UK, internet thing. Fruitfest.co.uk.
And where is it exactly?
It's in Dunfield House, Herefordshire, England, the Midlands of England. And if you we have a bus from London. If you can get to London, we can take you to the festival. And you're very welcome to come. And there's some people here in the comments that are going, so I'm looking forward to seeing Maisie. I can see you here and Jerry. And Jerry came to both festivals this year. He went to UK Festival and then he went to Woodstock. So, and he looked like he was having a lot of fun. That's all I can say. And Alexander, and I think Chris is going to be there.
And
He's
when is it?
definitely
When is it, Ronnie?
invited. 21st to the 28th of July.
I'm waiting for my
21st of
invitation.
July.
I've been waiting for years to be invited to do the watermelon workouts at your festival, but I'm still waiting.
Yeah, I'll send you an invitation for
No,
sure.
he won't. He's been saying that for years. No, he won't.
No, I need to put together an invitation. I will, yeah, I'll put together an invitation.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Raw Vegan Diary is going to the UK Fruit Festival. That's amazing. Well, I'll get there one day if Ronnie ever invites me. So I thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. And thank you, Ronnie, for being you, for sharing your time, your knowledge, your experience, and your mustache with us. And we will see you soon. And let's do another live. You're awesome.
Thank you, Jeanette.
Thanks,
Speak to
Ronnie.
you soon.
Bye. Bye, guys.
Bye, bye, bye.